Good morning to you all. I'm just going to go through lesson 2, Tuesday, the reading lesson and the reading task that we'd like you to do. Before I go through that, I just want to go through the answers to the vocabulary from yesterday. Thank you to those of you who sent in your work. I can see that you've unlocked the word. I can see that you've set it out just like we do in school. So well done and keep that going. Okay, so if we have a look at the first bullet point. Sinking in melancholy. Now, I would hope that most of you would know what this word means because I know that we've spoken about it in reading and writing before. So if we're using the steps to success here, the root word, well, there isn't a root word. The word is just melancholy. The word class, you should note in that sentence, it has to be a noun because it's at the end of a sentence. And we have a preposition word, which is in before, so it's a noun. Does it sound like a positive or negative word if we read around? My hunch or my guess would be that it sounds negative. And then a synonym for the word. So, if you didn't know what this word meant, what one word could you fit in there? So the closest synonym I think to the word would be the word sadness. And if somebody's feeling melancholy, it means that they're quite sad. And I have a picture here just to sort of emphasize that visual picture. So if somebody is feeling melancholy, it means they're feeling sad. Next one, keep composure in your heart. Now, again, well, there actually is a root word here, and the root word is the word compose. And this is actually a word that can have lots of different meanings. So if we're thinking about the word class, in this sentence, it's actually a noun. Keep composure in your heart. Reading around, yep, we're reading around. Does it sound positive or negative? That's quite hard to tell. And then a synonym. Now, if somebody's keeping composure, it means that they're keeping calm. You often hear the word composure in arguments. So somebody might say, make sure you keep yourself composed, which means keeping yourself calm. A picture here of somebody who looks like they're meditating. So they're keeping calm, which means they're keeping composure. Third one, those clouds will yield rainfall. In this sentence, now the word yield is a business type word, but in this sentence it's not to do with that meaning. The word class in this sentence is it's a verb. You should note that will is a modal verb. We've read around it. Does it sound positive or negative? Well, when I normally think of clouds and rain, seems quite a negative word to me. So I'm guessing that the word yield is also negative. And a synonym for it. So, if I didn't know what this word meant, what one word could I fit in this sentence? Those clouds will what? Rainfall. It actually means I'm trying to think of a synonym. It means that the rainfall will come down. So it's a verb, it's an action. The rain will actually pour. Or let go of, I guess you could say it means. So just my sort of closest picture here I could find would be, clouds. Eventually, when they're grey, eventually the rain has to fall. Fourth bullet point, if you are under criticism. I'm sure you've heard the word criticism. The root word is the word criticise. The word class in this particular sentence, it's a noun, which means it's a thing. We're reading around it. If you are under criticism, does it sound positive or negative? Well, it's definitely a negative word. To criticize would be the verb. In this sentence, criticism is obviously a noun. And if you're criticizing someone, it means you're not being particularly nice to them. So I've got a picture here of a sort of a business person, got lots of thumbs down, which means lots of people are being negative to him. And not many people, myself included, like criticism. It's quite a difficult thing to take. And the last bullet point, delusion will be crushed. Is there a root word? The word delude would be the root word. And obviously we've added shun here to make it into a noun. So in this sentence, it's a noun. Reading around, well, I've got the word crushed. And if something's crushed normally, or, sort of 80% of the time, that would be something negative. So I'm guessing it would be a negative word if I didn't know the meaning. And a synonym for it. If you've probably heard the word delude or deluded, and delusion is sort of when somebody thinks something that's not necessarily real, or a sort of false thought that they might have. So I've got a picture here of somebody thinking something that perhaps isn't real. Then I went on to asking you to predict what you think this could be about. I've read all your predictions. Robbie, yours is a very negative prediction. However, what I would say with your prediction is, actually you've really thought about what the words mean. They do seem to be quite negative, so you've obviously inferred that, and that's helped you with your prediction. So, when we're predicting, we're thinking, actually, is there a pattern with these words, to tell me what the topic is? Are they positive? Are they negative? And I think you'll agree that actually most of these words are quite negative. Okay, so today's lesson for Tuesday, we're going to start looking at the text. Remember that this is linking to your what this type of text is. So if we start looking at the text and reading it, you should have an idea as to what it's about. I've only highlighted the words in yellow because they're the words that we've unlocked, and now hopefully when we read the text you should understand what it is to do with. Okay, let's have a look. You should be able to work out what type of text this is as we read it, and obviously, as I always say, you can pause, you can go back to it and listen to the text as much as you want. If you are sinking in melancholy, then pray for peace. One day a boat of joy will arrive, and this too shall pass. If you are in a storm of failures, then keep composure in your heart. One day it will end certainly, and this too shall pass. If you are in the clouds of misery, then think of the forthcoming rain. One day those clouds will yield rainfall, and this too shall pass. If you are under criticism, then go beyond the world. One day a bridge of delusion will be crushed, and this too shall pass. Now, I'm hoping you've worked out what type of text this is. You should have worked out it's a poem. I'm not going to give away the answers to what I'm going to ask you to do, but I would hope you've worked out that this is a poem, and I would hope that you understand what the words mean. There is a lot of personification there, and if you can't remember what personification is, then go back to my writing video that I posted yesterday and have a look. But I imagine to answer the questions I'm about to give you, you will need to listen to this poem a couple of times, so make sure you listen to it so you understand fully. Right, task 1 that I'd like you to do. Now, there is a message in this poem, just like there is in any song. A poem always has a message. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what do you think the message of this poem is? Give evidence for your thoughts. Now, that's a very high level question, and actually, you're really going to have to think about what the message is of this poem, and you're going to have to really unpick the language and look back at the words, the phrases that the writers used. And I want you to set it out in a table like this. You should really be able to have at least 3 points and 3 pieces of evidence to back up your answer. Remember, your evidence needs to come directly from the text, and that you need to have inverted commas around it. Number 2, what makes this a poem? What poetic features can you see? So I've already told you one, that's personification. But we know that a poem doesn't just have personification, it has lots of other features as well. So I want you to write down what features can you see and some examples next to it. And then that leads on to number 3, find and copy 4 examples of personification from the poem. And as I just said, if you can't remember what personification is, look back at the writing video that I posted yesterday, and that will help you. Now, remember, the purpose of this is to help you with your writing. That is a poem. That's a really good poem, really high level. This is the type of poem that I'm expecting you to be writing or producing by the end of your writing topic. If you struggle or you want any help throughout the day, as always, get in contact with us. Could you comment below this video so that I know you've seen this lesson? Unfortunately, I can see people have liked the videos that we're posting on YouTube, but we can't actually see who's liked them. So if you could just comment so that we know who's seen it, then that would be really, really good. And well, shout out to Noraldin, because I always see him commenting, and so I know that he's seen it. Have a great day, all of you, and I will post the answers to this lesson and then tomorrow's lesson tomorrow morning. Take care, all of you. Bye bye for now.